Hey, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. My name is Danny Burke and I can tell you that I am not a millionaire, believe it or not, and I'm going to guess that at least 10 of you guys, at least 10, aren't millionaires either. But if you want to get rich, you might have been looking in the wrong place the whole time. Some people out there got their millions in ways that are just mental. To see what I mean and to see if we can get inspired to think of crazy ways to get rich, let's jump into our top 10 crazy ways people got rich. Starting things off now with our number 10, we have the pet rock. In 1975, Gary Dahl was joking with his friends about the downsides to having pets when he said, "You know what will make a good pet? A rock." Now, he was joking of course, but that thought didn't go away. He started selling pet rocks for $4 each to people, complete with googly eyes and a little carrier box with breathing holes for the rock. Yeah, this actually happened. The real product he was selling was actually the manual that came with the rock, and that contained jokes and puns about how to look after your pet rock. Almost unbelievably, it was a huge success. Over the next 6 months, people went crazy for it. Everyone had to have an official pet rock, not just any pet rock. In the end, he ended up selling 1.5 million pet rocks and became a millionaire from it. And you know what? I can't even be mad at that, because after looking at this, I kind of want an official pet rock too. Moving on to number 9 now, we have Yo. Now, a lot of you won't have heard of this app, but you will want it probably when you do. The Yo app lets you send the word yo to someone else. That's literally it. If it sounds like some sort of joke, well, that's kinda how it started. It was released by developer Or Arbel on April Fool's Day 2014, but when it started to get more and more downloads, he actually quit his job to work full-time on Yo. Over the next few months, it was downloaded millions and millions of times. People were using it to wake up their friends or get notifications when things happened, all just with the word yo. In fact, at its peak, 100 million yos were being sent in a single day. It ended up being valued at between $5 to $10 million. Now, of course, Mr. Arbel became a millionaire from all of this, from just the word yo. Crazy. I personally can't wait for the sequel, Yo Yo. Actually, maybe I should make that. Next up at number 8 now, we have pizza.com. Now, a lot of you guys might actually be too young to remember a time when most names for websites on the internet weren't taken. In 1994, nobody had claimed the website name pizza.com. Then a man called Chris Clark came along and bought the domain name for just $20. Now, he didn't think much of it. Not many people were aware of just how big this crazy thing called the internet was going to become. So he waited and got on with his life and waited, and sure enough, the internet did become a pretty big deal. Soon enough, some of the biggest pizza companies in the world were trying to snap up pizza.com, but Chris owned the rights to that website. Finally, in 2008, 14 years after he had bought it, Chris put pizza.com up for auction. A huge bidding war began, and one company eventually paid $2.6 million to Chris for the site. Crazy stuff. Now, I actually checked, and the name pizza.com isn't actually taken yet. So sorry guys, that one is mine. I'm gonna be a millionaire. Moving on now to our number 7, we have the Declaration of Independence. Now, for many Americans, the Declaration of Independence is one of the most important documents in the world. The original is priceless, but there were also 200 official copies made not long after the original. In 2006, only 35 of those precious documents have been found. That year though, a music technician called Michael Sparks was visiting a garage sale where he bought a nice salt and pepper shaker set and what he thought was a cheap modern day replica of the Declaration of Independence. It wasn't. It was actually one of those original 200. Now, he bought it for $2.48 and didn't realize its true value until after he'd done some research and had it authenticated. The next year, he put it up to auction, where it ended up selling for $2.4 million, almost a million times what he paid for it. God bless America. Moving on now to our number 6 spot, we have the Snuggie. Yeah. In 2008, this man, Scott Boylan, founded the Snuggie company. The idea was as simple as it was ridiculous. Instead of a bathrobe, pajamas, or comfy clothes, people would willingly buy and wear full-sleeve body-length blankets. Back then, you might have laughed at him, but the fact that you all know what I mean when I say the word Snuggie shows that you would have been wrong. The Snuggie went on to become not just a cultural buzzword, but an unstoppable money maker. In its first year alone, the company sold 20 million Snuggies. Now at $19.95 per Snuggie, it's safe to say that Scott Boylan is probably rolling around in millions of dollars right now, probably in a big Snuggie made of money with a Snuggie wife and Snuggie kids in a massive Snuggie house. Or so I've heard. Time now, guys, to introduce one of my favorites simply because it's just so weird. And number 5 is Park Seo-yeon, or the girl who gets paid to stream herself eating. In 2014, the media became aware of something quite odd that was going on in South Korea. This woman, Park Seo-yeon, was streaming herself eating expensive food in front of thousands of people online. She wasn't just doing this for fun either, although that does sound like fun to me. She was actually making a lot of money from it, pulling in over $9,000 a month from donations and trading in online currency for real cash. Now I know you guys probably have a few questions at this point, like how, and why? Well, I couldn't really figure that out, but Park Seo-yeon says she's part of an internet craze in South Korea called Myeokbang, where lonely people, or those who like expensive food but can't eat it, come together to watch their favorite online personalities eat the food of their dreams. Now, I think of all the strange things I've seen on the internet, this would be one of the hardest to explain to my grandma. I can't even get my own head around it. Okay, moving on to number 4 now, we've got Lucky Break. Now, have you guys ever been to a Thanksgiving or a Christmas meal and got to that bit where you break the wishbone for good luck? It's a thrilling moment during the meal, but only 2 people can ever take part in it, even if your whole family is around a table. Now that's where entrepreneur Ken Aroni stepped in and said, that's not okay. I'm not happy with that. He started a company called Lucky Break Wishbone in 2004. They sold plastic wishbones that are identical to the real thing. They break just like the real thing so that everyone at the table gets to take part in the tradition. Now they come in packs of 12 right up to 150, just in case you want to go mental and start snapping bones left, right and centre. They're also 100% recyclable, and with the rise of vegetarianism over the past few decades, they've proved to be a massive success. From selling fake turkey wishbones, Ken became a millionaire. If that's not crazy, then I don't want to be sane. Okay, coming at number 3 now, we have the Smiley Face. Now, do you guys recognize this smiley face? You probably do. They're everywhere. But they didn't used to be. There was a time before the yellow smiley face, but that all changed in 1963. That was a year that American artist Harvey Ball first drew this for an insurance company, who then used the smiley face badges as a way to remind their employees to smile more. And they only paid him $45 for it. The rights to the smiley face were then bought by 2 brothers, Bernard and Murray Spain. They slapped on the now famous tagline, "Have a nice day," and as the smiley face craze took off, they reaped the rewards. By the end of 1971, they had sold over 50 million smiley face buttons. They used this success to start a dollar store company, which they ended up selling in 2000 for $500 million. Alright, next up at our number 2 spot, we have Doggles. Yes, that is a word, and goggles for your dog are very much a real thing. A woman called Ronnie DeLulo invented Doggles one day after seeing her dog squinting in the sunlight. She experimented with using human sunglasses on her dog before settling on a pair that were perfectly designed to fit any dog out there. The Doggle company started selling thousands of pairs of them, and dogs could be seen with Doggles on in all kinds of random places. Some wore them for playing in the sun in the park, some wore them if they had something wrong with their eyes, but my favourite use is for military dogs. Army dogs being deployed in Afghanistan were given Doggles to protect their eyes from sunlight and sand, and it made them look totally badass. With all of their success, Ronnie and her company made millions by realizing one simple fact: sunglasses made everything look cooler. Alright, moving on now. Finally, we have the craziest and possibly the most genius way I've ever heard of someone getting rich on the internet. At number 1, we have the $1 million homepage. In 2005, a student from England set up a website to help pay for his university education. The blank page was 1000 by 1000 pixels in size. He put a $1 price tag on every pixel and sold them in blocks of 10 by 10. The idea was that people would buy a block of pixels to advertise themselves, their company, or even just put a cool logo there. Sounds crazy, right? I mean, who would pay for that? At first, it was only a few family members and friends who bought the pixels, probably out of sympathy and pity for him, but eventually news outlets began to hear about this and word spread online about this guy with a crazy plan to make $1 million. Hundreds and then thousands of people began to visit the site to see what all the fuss was about, and with all those eyes on the page, advertisers started to buy pixels. A lot of them. Just 2 months after the site launched, Alex had sold over 500,000 pixels. He was already halfway there. Eventually, he put the last 1,000 pixels up for auction, and instead of them being sold for $1,000, they actually went for $38,100, meaning that he made $1,037,100 in total. He had done it. Alex had become a millionaire in just a few months from selling pixels. The website still exists, so go and check it out. It's been more than a decade. It's a piece of internet history. I honestly am so impressed. Okay guys, we have reached the end of that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please give us one of these. That would be fantastic. You can also check out some of our other videos that are going to be floating over here. Don't forget to subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. And don't forget that we do also have a sister channel, Most Amazing Top 5, and they're about 50% as cool as us. I'm just kidding. They're awesome. Check them out. My name is Danny Burke. This is Most Amazing Top 10, and I'll see you guys in a bit.